Okay, guys, let's start. And let's start with introducing ourselves and telling a little bit about ourselves. Wendy, please go first.
Hey everyone, my name is Wendy. I don't really know what to say. I'm a front-end dev. I have a business that I run with my family, and I'm from Sydney, Australia. That's it.
Thank you very much. Ayla, what do you got to go first? Go next.
Oh my goodness. Multifaceted celebrity photographer, a podcast host, and doing some other stuff with celebrities as far as onboarding them and setting them up for success. Ayla, Key West, took the picture behind me. Soon to be New York City, hopefully with Anna, but yeah, it's good to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Sandy, would you like to go next?
Sure. I do a lot. So I'm from Canada originally. I say clout, and I live in Miami now. I do a lot of things. My real day job career is in bankruptcy consulting. I do forensic accounting, and I operate businesses in the interim when they're in bankruptcy. And then I also consult on a number of blockchain projects that are startups.
So much.
Welcome. Thank you.
Sandstorm, please tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Sandstorm, and I am from Canada in British Columbia. I am an entrepreneur. I teach kids to learn to program, and my background is in finance. So, yeah.
Thank you. Welcome. Tower.
Hi, Taonaya, also known as Tao. I'm from Haiti originally. I live in South Florida. By day, I'm in software SaaS sales. And at night, I'm BitClouting and working on different projects. And in real life, I have an upstream software company I've been trying to build for some time now, and scan tags. Yeah, wearing it. So that's what I
Thank you so much. Yani.
You guys hear me, first of all?
Yes.
Okay, just because I'm driving, sorry. Well, I'm not driving, my husband's driving. I'm Yani Branly on BitClout. I'm originally from Cuba. I live in Miami now, so I'm neighbor with Sandy and Tal. Miami. And right now I'm an ex-banker for both Wells Fargo and Chase. But now I'm a full-time real estate agent in Miami and a double full-time BitClouter.
I think that's most of us here. Thank you so much, Yani. Welcome. Gaby, hi.
Hi, I'm Gabby. I'm an environmental scientist. I have a lot of roles. I write air quality regulations for the entire US, Virgin Islands, territories, some international air pollution things. I also am vice president of a union. I'm a legislative and political coordinator. I talk to members of Congress quite frequently. I'm also part of GS Events, a group of women to put women in the left seat of exotic cars that happen to be sponsored by Ferrari right now. I also have a kids sponsorship that I do, kids scholarship fund that I do to put kids from marginalized communities into college without having to apply for those scholarships. Another thing that I do is I educate kids to educate their parents from marginalized communities, because you need to educate the kids because they're the future, although I have no kids. And this is my dog, Rocky. All right.
Hi, Rocky, and welcome, Gaby and Rocky. Nice to have you guys here. Kosi, hi, welcome to the panel. So we're just starting and we're introducing ourselves. So if you can please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Kosi Onyanaho. I'm a user experience researcher for a blue chip company. I have a doctorate in anthropology, so it's a kind of interesting mix. I like thinking about like philosophical and social issues. And I love technology, and especially like entrepreneurship. I think entrepreneurship is actually very romantic. Like people put their whole heart and their whole lives on the line for a dream. And so I really want to kind of build like my own consulting firm to help them do that. And I'm really enjoying kind of my user experience role, which is like helping designers and like product managers kind of build out products and innovate. Yeah, BitClout has been awesome. I love the people here, and I'm excited for the conversation today.
Thank you so much and welcome. We're glad to have you here. And I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Matreshka. I love BitClout, as you probably all know. I am a light worker on Night Average and co-founder of BitClout, which is the biggest Russian portal that we have for BitClout. And I love bringing community together. That's what I love doing in real life and here on the BitClout as well. And that's a little bit about myself. And now I would like to start going into the discussion about the women who are power on BitClout. We've heard so many different types of women who introduced ourselves right now and told us about themselves. And I would like to ask you guys, and I hope you can hear me well, tell us a little bit about what your experience on BitClout was as a woman, because all of you are very powerful women on BitClout, people who are seen, people who are looked at, and I would like you to share your experience with other people and how they can, women especially, how they can thrive and how they can be successful in the BitClout as well. And I'm going to let any of you guys start, so please go ahead, whoever wants to answer that first.
Is everybody muted?
Yes, but everybody can unmute themselves, so.
Oh.
Kosi, did you want to go?
Oh, sure. So just like my experience on BitClout so far and like tips for women. I feel like my experience on BitClout has been very exploratory. I've taken it as just like a social experiment. Yeah, so I feel like as long as you make a return on your investment on anything that you put in, so if you put nothing in, like, and you have a coin price, of any amount, I think that's pretty good. But even if you did put in money and you got an ROI, I think that's great. So there's two aspects. There's like that monetary aspect and the social aspect. I actually think that the building of social capital and relationships has been the most invaluable, like kind of like the early days of Clubhouse. I think that your ability to network and meet incredible people from different fields is really high on BitClout right now. And so I would say for any women who just want to learn, want to connect and form really meaningful relationships, I'd say jump in. Definitely be careful. On the platform, you don't want to lose money. It's definitely an investment platform as well. But so far, I would say that my experience has been overall, positive plus like a learning experience for sure, because it is kind of a social experiment so far.
Thank you.
I actually heard of it from Caller Daddy. I don't know if any of you have heard of that raunchy podcast, but as a podcast host, I listen to a lot of different podcasts. And so she had put a vlog on her YouTube and I watched it, and it was pretty raunchy, of course, because that's Caller Daddy style, but she mentioned this new social media and how like she just tried to explain it like you become stock and people like start investing in you. So I'm like, I love jumping into social media as soon as it starts and learning everything about it. And that's how I found the Nacho Average call pretty much 5 days into being on the platform. And immediately, because I do marketing for a living and because of everything that I do for a living, it just, I implemented BitClout straight into my business plan for everything. And as I started going to events, I met Tao and her amazing freaking company, the Scantats, where as a photographer, I'm constantly being asked as I'm taking pictures, where can I find you? Where can I find you? So my thought is, the moment I saw it is, I would love to have that at every event. And immediately that's connecting the women to me. And it's an undervalued, in my opinion, company right now. And so I am interested in seeing how it does all work with women in power.
Thank you for that. I guess I'll go next since I was mentioned in that. And this is what I really love about this community, is the support that we can actually give one another to grow, not just ourselves, but the community as a whole. Because, you know, I was just on a panel about diversity and inclusion. You know, diversity means everyone, and just diversifying all those different components, and how we can work together, collaborate together to enrich and empower one another. So that's my experience, what's been on the platform. Even if you don't know where you can find your place in the grand scheme of things, on BitClout, you can always find your tribe. You know, like some people have started, like SheClouts and other women empowerment sites, telegrams, being here on Nacho Average and meeting all of you, and just meeting so many incredible women that are willing to like really support what each other are doing. And not only that, but like if we see something that doesn't align with that kind of empowerment and inclusion, we shake the tree, we make some noise, and that's how we get noticed. So that's all.
Thank you.
Hi, I don't mind going. I mean, I'm driving right now, so I always want to make sure you guys hear me. Do you hear me?
Yes.
I'm actually the opposite. I'm not a big social media person at all. I'm I can probably say I've never had Twitter. And I'm very private with like Facebook and Instagram. So for me, BitClout was definitely like out of my comfort zone. I was introduced to BitClout first because my husband, is into cryptocurrency and Ethereum and all of that, and he actually opened an account for me back in, I believe, very early April. But it wasn't until maybe like 3 weeks ago that not even a month, maybe a month already, that I've been very active in the platform. And this platform specifically really motivates people to engage, and motivates people to like think outside the box and, kind of like show up in the arena, to get noticed or to work. But there's an incentive to it, which I do have to admit is totally different than any other social media. It's not just about being famous or having followers or none of that, because a girl like me that never cared about that before, I actually do care about this specific platform now. And it has a lot to do with the future and potential that I actually see in it coming into the future, right? So for me, it has kind of been like, I don't want to be completely oblivious to everything that's like it's actually at fault too, or things that are actually could get improved in the platform. But I also like to acknowledge that it's the beginning of something new. So be patient, continue to evolve, continue to try new things, see what works, see what your followers like, what they don't like, and readjust whenever you can. Make connections. That's my advice. Collaborate and be open-minded to different opinions and different points of view. So yeah, technically so far I see both sides of the platform, but I see that I feel like we could come together with inclusion, and we could come together very early on and to address all the issues that the platform could have, so that it could actually improve and be a better place inclusively for everyone though. I really want that to be true.
Thank you, Yani. Does anybody else want to go?
I can share a little bit. I've been on the platform just over a month. I think yesterday was my 3-month clout anniversary. I heard about it and I had FOMO in 30 seconds, and I got on not knowing what to expect. When I logged in, I thought the interface was terrible. I didn't know what I was doing or why I was doing it, but I went onto Clubhouse and everybody was talking about it, and there was this energy that I didn't even know what to do with, but I was really excited by. So I just kind of kept going, and that's been, I think, the thing that I've enjoyed the most is just the way everybody is kind of coming together to figure it out. None of us knew what it was going to be on day one. We still don't know what it's going to be on day 90 something. And so it's just the discussions and sort of helping each other, helping to onboard people, sharing our experiences has just sort of been really the highlight for me. I didn't really know what I was going to do with my account. I actually have 2 accounts. One's a dog account because that's how I handle social media. And then the other one, at people's encouragement, I opened up one under my own name. And that's sort of been the one that I've really done more with. I still don't really know what my voice is, but I'm sort of just expressing my thoughts as I like things, as I don't like things, trying to share words of encouragement or wisdom. I sort of boiled it down to being an engager, because I think that that's probably one of the most important things on the platform at this stage. I think people have probably left because nobody was talking to them. So I try and share things that I think are relevant, that might connect with people. I try and comment on people's posts, especially where I see maybe they're new and don't have anybody interacting with them. You know, I participate in the clubhouse rooms, and I talk to people on the side that have questions, and just try and share my experiences. So hopefully that translates into something positive. I know it does for me, and hopefully for other people as well.
Wendy, Sandstorm, would you like to add something?
So I guess everybody's pretty much said what I've wanted to say. I mean, for me, I feel like I'm just kind of doing me. I don't know what my voice is on the platform. I just kind of use it how I like to use it. It doesn't really bother me how other people see it. I'm just using it like it's my outlet of, I guess, I don't know what, creativity. Yeah. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Being me, I love that. Just being me. That was really perfect.
Well, what was great is me and Wendy actually just did a podcast together, and it released last week, I think. And we talked about what it was like being a woman on the platform. And it's different for each person depending on how you do utilize it. And it is different to be on a platform with just mostly men. And when you see the top people who have gained that day, it's mostly men. I mean, except for the one account, I believe, which is a project account. So we
design.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, that's very true. And that's where I want to start diving into more real talk, because, you know, we're all witnessing it and we're all experiencing that. And I think we need to talk about this. And first of all, I want to welcome Alina. She's a little late. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining. And the question that I want to address is, what are the struggles that women experience on the platform? And except for the struggles, do you see ways how we can overcome the struggles and deal with it to still be successful and go forward and all of that?
Hi everyone. I'll get straight to the answer to this amazing question, I guess. I, as a woman, I have my own personal experiences. I'm not saying they're exactly the same for everyone else, but in my life and on the platform too, I've seen a lot of times that many women try to take other women down, especially in male-dominated industries like crypto, you name it. Well, our particular example is crypto. I've seen this before, and I was actually surprised to see it on the platform too, but I'm not going to name names, but there are certain creators, very popular, female creators, I must say, who are, always posting about, oh, we should be supporting women, so on and so on. But in fact, when I met someone in real life, they did not act like what they were saying that they were rooting for. So they're not really practicing what they preached. And it was a really weird situation. It was, a mixed group of guys and girls. And that lady went and introduced herself first to all the dudes and only then to the girls. I've only seen this power move among, higher entertainment executives. And this is a really, really particular example. It really happened. Again, I'm not going to name names, but it is someone from a platform. And that's just one example. And this happens way too often on the platform, in the posts, in real life too. So I think that probably one of our main struggles as female creators on the platform is that we're not actually supporting each other. Not all of us, of course, but many say they do, but they just probably feel that there's still some kind of competition between female creators on this platform too. And this is very sad because the whole idea of BitClout is to support each other, to be inclusive, to give ways to underrepresented people from all walks of life, to undervalued creators to express themselves and be actually valued on the platform. So I think this is one of the main struggles, probably not not up there on the top priorities list, but it's definitely something that occurs every day, everywhere. And I think that we should at least try to avoid it on the platform. If you have any questions or comments on this, please feel free to share.
I actually wanted to say something, if that's okay. On the other spectrum, I can completely see your point, but on the other spectrum, sometimes maybe, in my case, I grew up with trusting men more, and with the men in my life being very stable and the women in my life being very unstable. And I also grew up in, I wasn't raised in a desirable way, as Jordan Peterson kind of talks about it. So that friendships and stuff were very hard for me, especially with females. And as I got older with the video games and the stuff that I love doing, it just wasn't something that I ever connected with women. And it's only been just the past year that I've been having more female friendships as opposed to male. So I see your point, but I also see the point because I am the type of woman who does introduce myself and talk to men more, because women not intimidate me, but I just don't know how to connect with women as much because I don't drink wine and I don't do and enjoy the same things that most women do. So I think that I wanted to add that in there just in case.
Sure, I totally see your point. I'm actually the same way myself. I probably connect more with the dudes. Still, there are a lot of women. It's not just about, connecting. Of course, there are things that you find in common with men more, other things with women more, but these are particular cases. There are not many women on the platform yet. So a lot of us, we see each other as competition. I'm guilty of this too, myself. So I'm not saying I'm not like this. Sometimes it slips my mind. I go, oh, I see someone's coin is, very expensive. And you go and see, oh, she's pretty. Okay, yeah. I have those thoughts too. I'm guilty of them. But again, we need to, put more thought into this. We're not competition to each other. We should remember about this. But I totally
100%.
see your point.
I think we should focus more on collaboration and competition. There's so much intelligence and skill sets just on the stage alone. Like, imagine what we could do together. So
Yeah, I think also we should encourage each other maybe to look at different metrics. Like, I know it's annoying that there's not a lot of women in the top 10, but my position is, who cares about the top 10? And maybe that's the message. Like, like we do focus on collaboration and on sort of just reminding people that they're awesome. Doesn't matter. I don't think coin prices matter. I posted about this the other day. I think most coin prices are actually bullshit. When you look at you look at them, they're all inflated. They're made up of people buying 75 of their own coins and having 3 or 4 investors that are their best friends. And so it doesn't mean anything. So for people to compare themselves to those high coin prices or people that are out there promoting themselves like crazy and not putting out good content, I think is kind of a false narrative. So maybe it's just a matter of sort of encouraging each other to just keep doing what we're doing and not care about that silly coin price and making lists. I just think it's sort of not important.
Yeah, right. Well, all of our prices are plummeting anyway right now. So who cares about those anymore?
Well, I do want to add, Alina, to your point that I'm a strong believer in that too, for a woman or any one period. This actually applies to men too. You don't have to dim someone's light, right, for you to shine. I think as women or even males as well too, it's not just female that this happens too. I think that we really need to understand the reason why we are in the platform to begin with. In my case, personally, um, I I guess I'm such a, like I'm really happy to see other people succeed because I'm happy in real life, right? Like my life, I'm a very content person. So I'm here kind of like how Wendy said, I'm just being me, right? I'm here to add whatever value I can add to the platform, and whoever sees me, notices me, or sees value in me, eventually it's going to either invest in me, reclout me, build a relationship with me. I think BitClout is not just about getting investment, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a social media. So I try mentally to be in a healthy space of mind, the way I see BitClout, right? So I agree with you when it comes to that, and like when it comes to women competition and this and that. We've obviously experienced a lot of shading lately and stuff like that. But I also feel like it's important for you to like kind of like protect your energy, protect your own personal life in real life, and realize that BitClout is just an extension of another endeavor that you're trying to reach and you're trying to do. It's not necessarily 100% your value of that coin or the endorsement that someone may give you or not, or whether they shot you out or not, they tagged you in a post or not. So like for me, it's like, okay, I am happy in real life and I am going to come to BitClout and try to show BitClout who I am as a person as much as I can, right? But at the same time, I agree with you. I think that we should all support each other, right? And you're obviously going to support a certain person more than others because you have already been able to experience a personal relationship with them one way or another. It's just like organically, right? You're going to little by little start kind of like meeting certain people and you're going to like them more than others. But definitely I feel like if we give this platform a little bit of time, it's definitely going to be a healthier atmosphere for everyone. Because I've always said, I feel like everyone now, it's like stumbling upon everyone's posts. You know, there's not only is there very little active female creators, but the ones that are actually active is even lower. So, I mean, it is important to support each other as much as possible, but eventually, you know, we're all going to go on our different routes and our different ways. And that's fine too. You know, not everyone has to like you and not everyone has to see your point of view. And the way I see it is, I don't have to like you, but I don't have to shame you. So just keep my opinion to myself and let you do you, and I do me.
I love the way that I think there's two different things that are happening. So for me, and I think for Tao, and maybe I don't want to speak for you, but I came on BitClout purely for business. I own and run different businesses, and I see BitClout as an absolute beautiful way for me to direct and manage and market, and it's part of my business plan. And not only that, but the connections I've made in real life at the events, and also through messaging and through being assertive. I have real life investments coming in for my businesses and my projects, TV shows that I want to do, buildings that I want to buy and move Anna in, like big things. And I would not have these skills if it wasn't for me leveling myself up as a person, not even as a woman, but as a person. And I want to support and attract and bring in and collaborate with as many people as I can that are also on that high quality route, whether they're a man or a woman. I do appreciate that there are a lot of people here on the panel that are it's not for business, it's more for exploration and learning the platform. So I think that the goals are different, especially for me. I'm very business driven. And if you don't see me reclouding stuff, it's because I have a business plan for each of my pages.
Right.
I'm similar with not with the business side. I mean, I don't think I could make a very interesting forensic accounting account. Maybe there's a small market for that, but I'm sort of similar. I'm very conservative because of what I do in my work. And so I don't really enjoy the promotional aspect of BitClout. So while I'd like to support people, I don't really repost a lot of things that are promotional or that mention investment. To me, that's a liability, because I said this again the other day too, that like we've only known each other for a very short amount of time. And even if people have the best intentions, sometimes things in their lives change. So they may have decided to do one thing with an account and then they get sick, or a family member gets sick, or something happens and they can't live up to their promise. So I don't really want to be responsible for promoting an account that I sort of can't control. So I'm just selective, and I hope that nobody ever thinks that it's because I'm not supportive. It's just sort of the way I've always managed my own accounts and in other social media as well. I'm just very
I've never taken
content that I put out
personally how anybody runs their account, what their business plan, because this is very different and we're all still trying to figure it out. And if somebody sells my coin, buys my coin, I think I bought your coin, Tao, and then I sold it because I needed to. And then I bought it again when I had it, and you never got offended because it wasn't about the money. Like, you knew my support in what you were doing was real. And that's what is important in finding real projects that we are interested in and supporting each other. And I absolutely, as I get to know each one of you, if there's something that comes to mind, I have a Rolodex brain. I'm a networker. That's what I do. And so I'm always going to think of different ways to make things work.
The other thing too is like authenticity is really important. Like when you look at the progression of media, like it went from people watching like 5 channels to people wanting cable and like having like what they want to reality TV, and like then to YouTube, and now like Clubhouse, right? Like people are craving authenticity. So I would encourage like all the women on this panel and in general just to be yourself. And then like, you know, if you don't want to share things about your life, I think everybody understands that, and just kind of, if you are promoting yourself on the platform, just making that clear, and just like sharing as much as you want, but like not being afraid to be your authentic self. I don't know if that's something generally, I think women like, you know, do deal with how to be their authentic self, maybe in different like work environments, but social media is like a really good opportunity to just kind of flex and explore that aspect of yourself. One aspect too of BitClout that's really interesting, just across the board, is that it forces people to become creators, whether you like it or not, right? Like there's not really a place for you to just be like a follower. You have a coin price, and then you can get investment, and you have to kind of please people right away. So that's an interesting aspect I just wanted to throw in the ring, but I don't think we should be afraid of being our authentic selves if we do choose to pursue the path of like becoming a creator.
Very good point. We're all different. Just because we're women doesn't mean we have to be the same. We have different ways of thinking, or a different set of experiences, skill sets. You know, it's not about us trying to just, project something about ourselves that isn't authentic, you know, and it's a great point, Kosi. Like, you still can be yourself. You can still be a woman. You can still be all those things, you know. You don't have to have the same interests. You don't have to have, you know, the same type of alignment. It's going to be different. And, you know, I like to think that when it comes to inclusion with women, for instance, like, I don't want to be included just because I'm a woman, but I don't want to be excluded just because I'm a woman either.
100%.
So, Yani, Wendy, anyone who hasn't spoken yet about your experience in that realm, and what do you feel your contribution is, and that reciprocation in that sense?
I mean, I guess I can speak up a little bit about my new project and what I took upon on my own hands to do. So obviously, when you go to the global, for example, I mean, it's no denying that you will come across like 7 or 8 male posts, right? And then you'll find a female post once in a while, right? So it's definitely a lot more male posts in the global feed. That may have to do a lot to the female and male ratio that's actually using the platform and being active right now. So when I just I just ended up lounging BitClout today, right? I was kind of trying it out for the first 2 weeks to, you know, before I opened up to investors and the public. I just wanted to see how was this going to flourish. But the whole purpose is, you know, to really highlight, you know, the most active female creators, right? There's no denying that, you know, the global, there has to be certain type of favorism to who goes in global, right? So I took it upon myself to change that, right? So if you want to see female creators post, whether they're talking about their dogs or they're talking about their lunch or their feet or they're shouting out someone else, I'm trying to go ahead and reclout all those posts. So not until BitClout changes that or another type of platform comes in and changes that, I wanted to like try to reclout every single female creator I come across with that specific page, so that if anybody wants to see who are the most active female creators um, on TikTok right now, they can be like, oh, I can find female creators for sure on SheClout, right? Like for sure, I know that like all her content is gonna be female creators, and that's something that I'm doing with Valeria. Obviously it's only me and her. It's just started. I only follow like a couple of them. I'm trying to find new female creators. I'm trying to be inclusive. I'm trying to reach out, even if it's a different point of view, a different view, even if it's controversial. So definitely it's something that I'm trying to do myself. But at the same time, you know, I really hope that BitClout eventually becomes fairly inclusive for everybody, especially in the global feed. You know, if it's really going to be a decentralized social media, it should be a decentralized social media for a lot of different point of views. You know, obviously there's always things that have to do with legalities and things that are illegal in real life. But if you have a point of view, I think that you should be voiced, and I think that you should say it. That's the reason why I'm in this platform.
So that's a good point about the global feed. We had a discussion in a previous panel about it. Do people feel that there's bias on the global feed and who's represented in that feed?
No, I don't. I think
I
the
don't know. Maybe
ratio.
I don't know if I have blinders on. I'm not, and I don't know that I've ever been highly conscious of how being a woman affects my interactions just in general. And I'm in a pretty male dominated work environment, but I don't know that I've ever sat back and thought I've been excluded because I'm a female. You know, I'm not here because, so it's just not something I really paid attention to. I've seen a lot of people talking about it, which I think is important because to the extent that it exists, maybe it's making me think about it more. I've been in clubhouse rooms, you know, where I hadn't really thought about whether women were speaking, and then it, you know, reflecting back, I saw that it was mostly male dominated. I don't know if that is intentional. So it's important to have the conversation, but I'm just personally not cognizant of it, I think, the way maybe others are. And I don't know if that's just something I've done for myself to protect myself from having to deal with those issues, or I'm just not experiencing it.
And that's, yeah. And I think it's all about like how you see the world too, right? But Wendy, I know you have to go soon, so I want to have your input before you go.
I feel like it's still very, very new, and it's still really early. And I feel like as more people come onto the platform, some of the issues we're seeing now will kind of dissipate over time. Yeah, that's pretty much my 2 cents. I do have to go though, so I just want to say thank you to everyone for having me, and I appreciate all of you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I have been on a lot of platforms and I have never felt more respected by men, especially since money's involved. And that's the God honest truth. I've changed my approach, but I am less agreeable and I'm more like, I try to think like one of those old guys that has no problem asking a hot girl out. They just have no issue. You know what I mean? So I started having that more of that mentality where like, ask what you know you deserve. And every male, I mean, I don't think of it like male and female, but every person that I've approached, that I've asked to speak with, has been super appropriate with me, has never made me feel like a quid pro quo kind of situation whatsoever. They've listened to me, and whether they've invested in me or not, it's been a great experience. I've had an amazing experience on this platform.
Yeah, I should agree with Ayla regarding this, but there have been some issues with harassment on the platform as far as I know. Yeah. Did not happen to me personally, but there have been stories, primarily adult entertainment, yes, ladies who got Okay.
We did if you want to listen to the podcast, The Simp Life with Wendy Lee and I, we did actually talk about that because our content is very different from hers. And so we were talking about how that could even not say our investors, but normal investors that would never talk to one of us ladies like that would then maybe go over to her. And because of how she was, her content would then treat her differently. And that is a bizarre thought process. I mean, I don't know who the predators or the males were that were rude to her, but it's not deserved. It doesn't matter what our content is. Nobody deserves that.
Yeah, this is true. But again, I agree with you that comparing to other platforms, I personally don't experience as much, that crazy stuff that's going on. Again, very, very particular example. I'm part of a Facebook community, which is concentrated like, oh, sorry. Ooh. Okay. No, fine. I sound this echo somewhere. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Kosi, can you please mute yourself?
Yeah. Oh, thank you. It was a little weird.
You're on mute, Alina.
You're still on mute. There you go.
Perfect. Fine. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. So it's a big entertainment community, mostly for entertainment assistants. And I used to network with a lot of people when I was actually looking for a job. And what we do, we go out for like networking drinks. Oh yeah, work at this company. You want to do this, blah, blah, blah. The problem is with most males, every time I went out on a networking drink, they thought, even if they didn't think it was a date, they would still try to make moves on me. It's probably, there is some gray area there. Obviously, there was like no direct harassment on the platform, but it happened in real life after. But again, comparing to, let's say, Facebook and Instagram, again, I have to agree with Ayla. I have not experienced that yet, and hopefully I will not, and nobody will. But yeah, I do see some positive trends in this too.
You can block people now. Is that new, by the way, that you can block people? Because I just noticed yesterday, but I'm never sure if I just noticed something or if it's been there for a month and I didn't pay attention.
I'm not sure, but it's a good.
I think I kind of generally agree. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think I generally agree with what some people here were saying. Like, I don't think it's like something where all the time, like, you go into the room and the guys are like, we don't want women here, or like you hear anybody like outwardly saying like bias against anybody. I think if you're in like a group environment, like Alina was saying, or some of these women who have been harassed, when it does happen, it's just shocking. And I'm actually more interested in like how the community will respond when something bad does happen, right? I feel like that's an aspect that I'm not sure how well we figured out yet. Like, for example, if a woman does block somebody from like on Clubhouse, but then like they're hosting and they're doing their thing, and the person like wants to get into the room, what I've seen is like, who blocked this dude? Like, who, like, nobody's even thinking like why that person might have been blocked. And like men also can be harassed, right?
Kosi, I'm sorry, but it seems you have some connection issues. Please check it.
Yeah, I can kind of tell, maybe a little, because it's a little fuzzy. But hopefully you guys got like most of that, and I can, cover it in another forum too.
Yes, it's like thoughts from a cyborg. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. So that's a good point. I mean, I have not had any kind of like harassment on this site, so I'm thankful for that. It's not like anyone's like sliding into my DMs here or anything, which is great. But on that topic, just aside from like the whole respect component of people not being sexually harassed for the most part and those type of components, let's talk about the financial components and the ratios involved in that when it comes to your projects being noticed, the investment and the market cap in those respects. Like, do you feel as women that your projects are getting the kind of visibility they should compared to the men on the platform? Are they getting the injection into your coin value, your projects that you think is, compared to the men on the platform? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I am not. I am getting noticed and I am pushing myself like a mofo to get noticed, but I don't think that I am taken as seriously. And I do think that it does have to do with the fact that I'm a female and maybe the way I look and talk and a million different components about me. And you also, you and I were there in Miami. I was there in New York. You were there in New York, right? Yeah. No. Okay, sorry. It was like within a week of each other, so they blend into each other. And Yanni, you were there too.
Yeah.
And so it was frustrating to see how little. I mean, I really thought that I would blow up more than I did, as opposed to the other people who got major money for their projects, where mine actually, with the podcast and with the TV shows and with everything I'm planning, it's like I'm able to give a massive platform via celebrities and teach them. And you know what I mean? Like I'm about to like really do great things for the whole platform and teach people how to treat the platform, but people aren't investing in me as much as they are in other people in big money. And you too, that tattoo idea should be like, boom. It should be in the thousands. It's ridiculous. Is it though because we're too agreeable, or is it because we're a woman? Because Jordan Peterson talks about in his teachings, because he's a Canadian psychology professor, that what he sees is that women are too agreeable. That's why we get paid less, because we accept less. And so I heard that and I had to take a deep look into myself and really say, yeah, I am too agreeable for the most part. I don't ask for what I deserve, like some people do. And I think it's because we are not used to rejection as much as men are. Men get rejected by women and by people all the time. You know what I mean? Especially not attractive men. So they're used to getting rejected. And they're used to like building up a just like they don't care attitude. But for us, especially, I know this is terrible to say, but for women who aren't rejected as much, it's very scary to get rejected. We really don't know what to do with that.
That's a great point. And I read that article about that, and just, how sometimes we undervalue ourselves typically, in just in general sense of it. Just the masculine versus feminine energy, and just sometimes not really giving ourselves the credit where credit is due even for ourselves. So it is a component to explore. And I think these type of conversations are necessary. So we're not just blaming one component of the whole exchange, and we're actually able to find ways to empower ourselves and each other to see what we can do to just grow and be better, and and just explore it in general and see where the flaws are.
I actually want to agree with you guys on that. Me personally, I've actually seen a lot more support in my projects than I've actually seen in myself. And I actually appreciate that about BitClout, because it's not just about, the social media influencer, right? Like what you see in Instagram and stuff. So my projects have actually done a lot better than my own personal brand, right? And believe it or not, like most of the first people that have supported it has been mostly men. So, I feel like men appreciate a lot when a woman is actually doing something for themselves. They're putting themselves out there. Like I've always say, you have to show up to the arena, right? Like no one's gonna notice you sitting at the bench, You have to put yourself out there. You have to get out of your comfort zone. And if they see that you're actually trying to do something for the community, I do have to agree that some of them, not all of them, but some of them, especially if you build relationship with them,
they will try to support you with it. I mean, it has to make business sense for them as well, obviously, but I've gotten a lot of support on my project. I've actually gotten a lot more support in my projects than I've gotten in my personal brand. So, hey, I mean, it still makes me, happy to know that they are supporting, and, like, I'm done.
I don't know. It's hard. I think things are maybe changing. I think there's less big investments going in, probably in the, since BitClout is on blockchain, because people are maybe holding and trying to see what they're going to do with their funds. I think also with all of this sort of Raj stuff and sort of what happened when Raj sold so many creator coins, it's probably making people think about making large investments in anybody, because they have then so much power. And if they don't want to keep the funds there, it's going to cause sort of a big ripple effect. It becomes negative for them. I think there's actually some value in what came out of that, in that really none of us should want anyone to make unless we have a huge, founder's reward and we're actually banking on the funds that are coming in. We really want a more diversified set of coin holders so that nobody is sort of in power. So it's exciting if someone comes in and drops a couple $1,000s on your coin, but then you're open to getting used to a certain coin price, and then they decide to sell because they're probably there to make money, and then it creates a lot of issues. So it may be harder to get projects funded. I just have a sense that maybe there will be smaller investments being made, sort of because of all of the things that have come out recently. But I don't know, it's just my opinion.
You're probably right, where I'm seeing more of the bigger investments being real life cash to actually fund the projects, and then supporters and new followers going into the coin on smaller bits, which is actually great.
So that's actually a question. So Ayla, are you actually looking for funding, like real dollar funding, sort of from VCs or any investors outside of the platform? Or
yeah, so I have a podcast investment,
right?
But I have a podcast investment in real life that I was looking for prior to ever knowing about BitClout. But once I found BitClout and started meeting people and networking within, I found people within that would be it would be mutually beneficial as far as marketing and whatnot. And then the bigger projects, like I want to buy a $5 million building and have a production studio do TV shows for the platform, and hold like a music studio so that musicians and artists can come in and record there, and it be like a big, huge, it's massive. But I have real life money I would prefer over someone investing in my coin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's what I wasn't sure when you said that you had actual projects, if that was really just a real money situation. And that's always hard to measure in terms of, because we don't know what kind of money people are getting off the platform from behind the scenes projects and things like that. We hear about some of them getting funded, but I don't have any sense of how much money is actually funding projects that are related to BitClout. So, I mean, raising money is always hard. It's a terrible thing to have to do, but necessary.
It is, especially as a female, especially tattooed, and I'm sure any one of you know how hard it is.
Yeah, I think, we can't deny that disparity exists. We can't deny that some people, there's bias that exists in the world. And, we can't just, be ignorant to that. It does, but I think what we need to do is just align ourselves with people who don't think that way. There are people who exist, don't have those type of like components that they think of. They look at your value as a person and what you have to contribute as a person, and those are the type of people that you want to seek out. Like, forget the people who can't see us for who we are and all of like, I'm done talking and those words falling on, deaf ears. I'm seeking out the people who are willing to listen, who have alignment with my vision. And that's it. And I think that's where, you need to just kind of refocus your energy on the people who are going to be there for you and look at you for who you are as a person. And that's it. Yeah. And then we're going to go to the Q&A session right now. So we're going to open up for the Q&A for everyone in the audience.
Can I ask you though, the same question? Because you do have a real life business and you did meet people. So what is your experience of being able to have your real life business and trying to find backers through BitClout?
I ask myself a multitude of questions when I'm not getting anywhere with something. I ask, is it the product? Is it something I could be doing better? Is it my delivery? Is it my presentation? I go through all those layers and then I take a step back. Is it because I'm a Black woman? Is it because I'm a woman? So I do ask all those questions, especially as I face challenges. And I do see other people who are getting farther ahead with maybe not so much to actually present or do. So like in the real world, because I work in a software industry, I work in tech, and I have been denied opportunities because of how I look, and who I am. So I'm not ignorant to that. And so with that, I just try to go where I'm welcome, and the places I'm unwelcome, but I do feel like I have a voice, then I show up, and I pull a seat up to the table, and I stopped asking for permission to do that. And if I find those challenges, I just redirect myself into places where I am going to be seen and heard. And then I just try to empower other people to do the same. So yeah, I do face challenges in the real world. And the real world can translate to, any kind of social media platform. So it's just really just redirecting my energy to people who are supportive and who see me for who I am. So yeah.
Have you found a lot of success through BitClout for your real life, for the tattoo or the scan tats?
So thank you, Ayla, for your support. Like I really, Ayla, sorry, for your support. Like it's just been so appreciative. I appreciate it completely. And I have found many men too, like whatever they can contribute, whether it's $10 or $100 into like buying into the coin. Like I really appreciate that Zopal placed an order this week, things of that nature. Like I appreciate it. And so those are the people I'm just going to, those type of people I'm going to seek out, and align myself with in that arena, and just knowing, people who don't want to see the benefit for themselves, because if it is an investment, there needs to be a benefit for them as well, right? If you see the benefit and you can't see past who I am, like on the exterior, then that's on you. So yeah, I have found support, and I'm happy for that. So thank you.
May I?
Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I'd like to say that you've touched upon so many topics that are very interesting, and I have so many questions for you. But first of all, I'd like to ask you to share your projects that you have on BitClout and out of BitClout that you want to get support. It's interesting for me to know. And maybe if you have some projects that you are going to do, so you may make an announcement. It will be cool to hear. And the second question is, maybe is there any female Rashla Hudi doing the same sort of thing? And if you know someone, please tell me. It's interesting to know as well.
He's asking if we're calling somebody out.
So I would like to ask, maybe starting from Ayla.
Okay.
Because you've mentioned a lot of businesses that you are doing, and it's a really great project that you have, Simple Life, as far as I remember. It will be interesting to hear more about it.
Yeah, we just so I've got the Simp Life TV or Simp Life on. It's a podcast, and it's been really fun implementing BitClout with the podcast, because the Simp Life, to me, I started it after Call Her Daddy came out, and it's to kind of combat the toxicity that is kind of cycling between women and men and dating and how they're treating each other. And men are being gaslit and told that they aren't supposed to be masculine, and yet they are. It's ridiculous what's happening in the subculture, but I won't go into that. So I've got the podcast. It's comedy. The last episode was with Mario, and it's not your typical Mario interview whatsoever. It's really great. Anna got to hear it too. So I've got that going. And because of my celebrity photography and my connections And because of how much I've been learning about BitClout through Nacho Average, it just made sense that all these celebrities and influencers and artists are wanting to sign up, but they have no idea. So we started Lunacy Talent, which is under my LLC. And I will be helping onboard celebrities, influencers, hip hop artists onto the platform. We're going to get them funding into their, they're going to get their own coin. We're going to teach them how to use the platform and direct them to people like Tao for if they're a comedian, do front stage, after party. We've been talking to them and kind of doing that. And as I relocate to New York City, we're going to be working on some TV shows as well for BitClout and maybe some reality shows. So I've got Carol Baskin coming on the podcast, some fun stuff. The end.
Yeah, thank you very much. Cindy, maybe you will continue.
Yeah, I don't have any BitClout projects, so I don't really have any. I mean, I'm working on a lot of.
You have your own account, so you can tell us. So what's your plan?
I don't have a plan. This is the first time I've ever been on social media in my own voice. I was mentioning, everybody knows, but they're probably bored of hearing it. My social media experience is mostly a dog account that I feature my dogs, and it was pretty successful. So I've never really spoken out publicly as myself. I finally did that now. So I don't have a plan. My plan is just to be myself and contribute as much as I can to the community.
Love it. Love it. Taonaya?
Yeah, so I came for business and I stayed for the party. I'm really enjoying, the community and everything, and it's been more worthwhile than I thought, because I wasn't on social media either like that. It was just friends, family. But what I have been working on lately is the stage, as she mentioned. I want to bring some funny to the platform. I want to highlight comedians that can make us laugh in between all of the hoopla that's going on. So the stage is, I could talk about some of the other projects, but that's what I'd really like to highlight, because we're not doing enough of I saw some, they did a clubhouse the other day, and people were, having a lighthearted experience. And so, it made people feel better about a lot of the things going on, and so I started this project a couple of weeks ago, and I featured Emmett Short, our first comedian on the platform. We're going to be doing a live event with him, and he's a great comedian. You can check him out. So he's hilarious, and I just hope to find more comedians that I can highlight with the project.
Thank you very much.
I love that. I just wanted to tell her how much I love that, because I am a huge comedy fan. And I was in that room the other night with the impressions and stuff. And I mean, it changed the vibe, because what a tough week it was. And it was pretty game changing. I think everything felt different the next day. It was just such a fun night. We definitely need more of that. So I absolutely love that this is what you're doing. So yay.
Yeah, thank you. Taonaya, as far as I know, you have a project called Dev Audit, and it seems to me it's pretty good. So I think you can share about it a few words, maybe.
Sure. So there were some activities that occurred the other day, a few days ago, where people accounts were compromised. And I just happened to be in certain Telegram and Discord rooms where I saw that, wow, this is problematic. So I discussed with Alex, Smart Alec, my fiance, some of the components that we could perhaps try to implement to provide more transparency to third-party applications that people are utilizing on the platform, so that they're not compromised. And as the community grows out, you're going to have a lot more, bad actors that are going to create applications that says clout this or clout that, and people are going to think that it's a safe component to use. And so Dev Audit, essentially, we do audits on the applications and ensure that they cover the basis security-wise, and that you're not going to be compromised if you utilize it or download it.
Great. Alina, will you continue?
Hi, guys. I'm not really on the business side of anything, so I'm that person who came here for the party and stayed for the party. As you probably know, I'm part of a Bits Today podcast, which is not fully mine, as you can probably guess. The other thing I started doing is I created a teeny tiny TV show called The Ferry Basic Show. It's pretty much just, a series of videos on storytelling, on how to promote your account using some storytelling techniques. I only did the pilot so far. It was for the bot bets competition, but I will do more. I just have not figured out the exact schedule yet. But the first one was quite popular with the audiences, so I'll definitely do more. And I think a lot of people here, especially new users who just come here and have absolutely no idea what's going on, they often struggle with either promoting themselves in general or figuring out which story they are trying to tell on the platform. So my teeny tiny show is aimed at resolving this issue. And there are other things that I'm thinking about, but have not really decided if I want to, dive into deep in there yet. But we will see. But I can tell you most of the projects I will be working on, there will be, very, if not artistic, but not exactly business related. This I can guarantee you. So that's pretty much it.
Oh, thank you, Alina. I would like to follow your projects, and you're doing great stuff in terms of entertainment and journalism. It's just a joy to follow you. Kosi, will you continue with your projects?
Are you guys hearing the robot noises still, or can you hear me? Is it okay? Okay. I have one that I launched a while ago called User Feedback. I think what I want to transition it into is an actual list. The point of it is to connect projects with people who are willing to give them research feedback in kind of a lean, agile format. So that's one that's launched, and I'm honestly just still working on it and figuring out how to transition it. I have actually quite a few other projects that I have in mind to launch. I'm just trying to figure out if BitClout is where I want to do it. As somebody really interested in entrepreneurship, you do want to ask a lot of questions before you invest either your time or your energy. And so that's honestly why I've been part of Clubhouse rooms and I've asked questions like that, on my page. I think a decentralized platform is a really good place to maybe launch some projects. And I'm curious, Ayla, to see how you are doing that for some of your projects. I have still a few questions before I kind of put my projects and my energy and even my business onto BitClout. So excited about the conversation to learn more and just see how that unfolds. But yeah, definitely other projects and user feedback.
Oh, thank you very much. So maybe Matreshka, you will continue.
Yes, hi, thank you. And thank you for helping lead the discussion. I have somebody to come over who was supposed to come over 3 months ago to do something in the house and had to deal with it. Sorry about that. And I absolutely loved listening to all of you guys and what you were talking about. And as for the project, the main project that I love doing that I'm not really working on, I'm just enjoying being there, is the Niger Bridge, which is the 24/7 live Zoom call where all the most active people on BitClout come and interact with each other. And for those who are watching who don't know who that is, because everybody on the call does, it's a beautiful place where you can meet other people and all kinds of different people. You can meet investors, developers, engineers, regular people, artists, and everybody in between. And when I just got on the platform, we came about the same time with Lena from a Clubhouse room where we all onboarded, and I was trying to just do something and I was getting zero engagement, and it became very boring really quickly because I was not getting anything and I kind of left. And then when I came back to just check it out, I found the Zoom call, and it was the first day when it was happening, and then I stayed because I found my tribe, I found my party, and I stayed and I absolutely love it. And it became an amazing place where some people call it an incubator, somebody call it somewhere else, but it's just a great place where you can meet actual people and interact. which makes the platform experience so much more meaningful and so much more deeper, because once you meet the person and not just in Clubhouse, but face to face, it kind of changes how you feel about them and how you feel about the whole experience. So this is the main thing that I want to highlight. And another thing I'm working on is the project called Cloud Strategies, where we want to create a space for regular people, not the artists or somebody who already has their niche and who know what they're doing on the platform, but for people who don't know what they want to be doing, for them to still be able to find interests and find people with their content interest in them, and help them find ways to be more successful. And you guys already talked about most of the things about engagement and being on other people, but because pages, but because there is no discovery right now, that's what we're trying to cover. And there are a few other people that are working on that, so we're just trying to see if we need to do a separate project or if we'll collaborate with somebody else. So yeah, that's what
Thank you, Matreshka. I would like Sandstorm to continue with her projects, if you agree.
Hi, yeah, so I have Jam Sesh with Clay that we've started. We haven't opened it up yet because we want to make sure that the logistics sides, they're kind of going, so we're working like really hard to do that. And then also I'm building stuff on Sandstorm. I can't really talk about it too much, but I'm super excited. So it's going to be definitely a lot of collaboration, and I'd be honored to invite every single person on here who's listening to collaborate with me as the time goes by. So if you're interested, I'd love to work with you.
Thank you so much. And I think every single one of us would be honored to work with you on any project. So thank you.
Yani, please. Wait a little bit, microphone.
There you go. You hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so it's funny because Clout Room and Matt and Prosper Clout just featured in their last episode my first project, which is it's pretty much for a good cause, right? I didn't really know what to do with BitClout, so I first launched something that I have very strong beliefs in, and I figured that I opened a page that's called Green Heart Cloud. And I'm just trying to create awareness through that page for environmental issues and teach people, how I call it, to develop a green heart, right? My personal beliefs, and this is just my personal beliefs, is that most people think that, you know, they're so small and their impact in the world is insignificant. This is just themselves. But I believe that, you know, just like a word of something spreads quickly, right? Like bad news spreads quickly. I believe that if we can spread awareness and do small changes in a graded scale, we can definitely tackle some of these environmental issues in the world. Something so simple like recycling, or being a little bit more conscious about the amount of energy that you're using on a daily basis and stuff like that. You know, we are responsible for our own actions and our own impact in the world, even if we think that there's bigger organizations that are responsible for making laws or creating some type of control over what's going on in the world. At the end of the day, I take it upon myself to help people realize that, you know, change starts with us. And I think that's very true in every single aspect, right? Including being inclusive with other people or stuff like that. So since this was obviously a platform that, you know, that you get rewarded for your work and for your content, then I decided to go ahead and get all the profit from the FR to donate to charity. And I created what's called Green Heart Sunday. So every Sunday I show my investors and my followers proof that the FR has been donated to a specific charity. And I'm open to allowing my investors to send me direct messages and tell me, hey, I want you to donate to this specific charity as long as it's environmental friendly. But so far, I haven't really had anybody ask me or tell me, oh, I want you to donate to a specific charity. So, like, for example, this month is the month of June is International Ocean Month. So we've been donated to Oceana, which they're doing a great job making regulations and creating laws for like illegal fishing and trying to clean the ocean and stuff like that. But that's just kind of like my passion, right? That's like, if I said if I'm going to make money out of this platform and I'm going to create a project, that's how I started with Great Heart Clout. But in the podcast that Clout Room just did with the Princess Game Brothers and math and stuff, it is hard, you remember, right, to create content for a charity on BitClout. So I feel like not many people care about that right now. So I don't really have a lot of engagement. It's really hard to get engagement with Great Heart Clout. But I've done a lot of support, and I feel like a lot of the investors that I've gotten have been holders for sure. Like I haven't really gotten that many traders. I don't think they see the value in trading a charity cause, which it may be a good thing. But I'm hopeful that in the future, as more people join the platform, and I get to meet more like-minded people, you know, like I may have a bigger impact in the world. So that's how I first started. And then I just recently launched with Valeria C. I just launched with her and Alexandra Clouts, which is, we're just highlighting through that page the most active, when I say active, female creators on BitClout. And I think it's kind of like a little filter, right? For you, if you want to go and look up female creators, you know that, hey, I know for sure I'm going to find some in Clouts, you know? I also create some uplifting and motivational quotes that, you know, a lot of people have actually liked it. And we also have a new clubhouse room, I'm sorry, that's called Wine and Clout. Not that we're endorsing people to drink alcohol, but it's kind of like a chill vibe where if you are a new female creator in the platform, you may be like an introvert or something. You know, if you hear about it and you'll be like, you know, like when you think about like a wine night in with your girls, you know, it's gonna be chill, relaxed, stuff like that. So at least it's like a safe haven, like a safe place where they can go. And then if they want to, and it's within their personality, to adventure out from that room and go to other club rooms or go to National Average Call and stuff like that, they're more than welcome, of course. We're not trying to be exclusive completely, but like me personally, I felt like sometimes when I go to this room, since I'm not very like tech oriented, or, you know, I don't really know much about crypto, like sometimes I feel lost and I have nothing to say. So that's why Wine and Clout came around, just in case for people that just wanted to speak their mind and talk about something that wasn't so serious, and BitClout and meet other female creators, and then, you know, develop their own brand from there. So that's what we're working on right now.
Wow, so much desire for mutual cooperation in here. That's what BitClout delivers. Thank you so much for sharing your projects, and I'd like to get back to my second question. Is there a female Rush Lahudi? Do you know? And if there isn't, should we create one?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that question.
Me neither,
Yeah.
Alex. Can you please repeat that?
I think he asked if there was a female Raj, and if not,
Yes.
should we create one? Can I just say no? See if anyone
Well,
disagrees.
There actually kind of was, because he was supporting a female podcaster. I think Sandstorm, do you know her? Rochelle?
Wait, she's what? No, I don't know what you said. Yeah, Rochelle, I know Rochelle, but what happened with Rochelle?
Oh, nothing bad. I know that there was a day that he showed her how to do the whole Raj tricks, and then she had done it, and then and it had worked for her, and because that is her thing. For me, I've had such a traumatic childhood that like I don't like the ups and downs. I like steady. I like everything to be steady. I schedule my chaos. So I've never actually paid attention to Raj's stuff. But I know that she was really excited about doing it.
I think, and then he sold her coin. So I don't know if that may have changed, but I don't think she's doing it to the level that he was. I mean, maybe only because he's got a bigger voice. I'm not sure. I didn't even actually know that she had that going on, but
that was like what, 3 weeks ago or something?
Okay. So that, I mean, that's 100
years. It was a while ago.
BitClout time.
But that was just to answer the question. That's the
Yeah.
farthest I've seen, or the closest I've seen.
And Zopal, would you like to share
asking,
about
maybe
this?
it is Design Star because she is doing some founding reward games. What do you think about Design Star?
I don't know if they would be in that category because like I don't know, like Raj's game is different. So like I feel like it's very new and it's been tested and obviously it hasn't been worked. So I think they're taking on a different approach. I don't know if that would fill in that category though. I definitely do see them lowering their rewards, but also other people too. Like I've done it once, only because somebody, I mean, like Clay had helped me out with it, but I don't know. So.
I see. Thank you for the answers. Last one from me, and maybe someone will ask from the
Alex.
audience.
I think Kosi wanted to add something.
What?
Hi. I think that there are probably women
Kosi,
who are interested. Oh, no problem. Yeah, I think there are women who are really interested in those games. Maybe they don't have like money, like as deep of pockets as some whales. But I think there are a lot of women who are interested in the whole gamification aspect. I've seen a lot of women in like, just different channels and chats and stuff who are excited about the games, who play them. And so I just wanted to throw that in there. There's definitely a difference of opinion, I think, across the board, men, women, in terms of like how they see those games and stuff. I'm not sure if that answers your question, but.
There is no right questions, So I'm sorry, there is no right answer to this question.
It seems like those FR games are really good for accounts that don't have actual content or a project, or they're not a photographer. They don't have a curation. So that's how they're able to get into the coin game. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
and what
I think it's a great point, actually. Alex, was that your last question or do you have more?
Yes, I have one. It's a traditional question from the Cloud Forum. What's your message to the women audience, to the women clouters, about the next 100 days of BitClout?
Be unapologetically yourself, be present, be consistent, and show up.
Also admit when you've made mistakes. When I signed up for this platform, I was absolutely clueless and I jumped in too, and I didn't know that owning your own coin was good. I also didn't want to look selfish, so I set my FR immediately to like 3%, and it just ruined my account immediately, and I had to start a new account a few days later, and I was very, very public and communicative with everybody. I spoke with a lot of people before doing so, and I took responsibility. And I think that's the biggest thing, is taking responsibility and understanding that this is a permanent thing, completely different. Don't stick to just women. You know what I mean? Like, the goal isn't to just like have a powerful woman group or a powerful man group. It's to integrate so flawlessly that we don't have to fight for a voice anymore. And that's kind of like, we have the ability to change the entire concept of how things work. And that's what we should collaborate on, not projects so much, but collaborate on teaching everybody how to treat the platform and women in general.
Thank you so much. I think
I dropped my mic.
Yes. Boom. I think it's really, really important, actually. And thank you so much for sharing that. And the thing I noticed about the women who are the most influential, and I don't want to say who has the highest coin price, because it's not necessarily reflects that, are the ones who are the most authentic. And that's what have been said in here. Sandi mentioned it, and Wendy said they don't even know how to use their voice, but they're using it, and we feel it, and we love it. my voice is shut, so I'm going to shut up now. But I just want to say a huge thank you to every single one of you for coming out here and having this discussion with us. And I love you all.
Love. Thank you for having us.
And if anybody else wants,
what
yes,
makes being a woman just like great. We can do this to other women. No big deal.
Right, absolutely. I actually wanted to add to that too, that my advice would be to any other female creator that comes in, you know, just be as, you know, just show up. There's a lot of different tools right now that have been that are being used, whether it's natural average call, some of the Clubhouse, or even if you just want to use BitClout.com, that's still okay, you know. Just, you know, reach out to other creators. I have to admit that for the most part, unless you're like one of those scam accounts, for the most part, we are happy to, like, you know, to support or comment or something so that you can advance in any of those competitions. But definitely, yeah, I feel like if it wouldn't have been because of BitClout, I would still be like, you know, with no like influence anywhere. And I'm not trying to be an influencer here, but definitely I've been able to get noticed by just collaborating with other male and female creators, you know, sending DMs, whatever. And it's like one of the biggest thing I also think that it's very true is that it doesn't matter like who makes it first or who, if it's especially between females, like it doesn't matter if you both started at the same time and that other girl has like a higher coin already. Like it's okay, we're all in different journeys, right? And at the end of the day, if you're enjoying your time here and it's healthy for you mentally, then you should just keep doing what you're doing, learn as much as you can. And if you're doing something wrong or if something's not working, then, you know, readjust and try it again. We're all learning. It's like there's no there's no real like nobody has ever made it yet, you know, in BitClout. So it's kind of like we're trying to learn from each other.
Yeah, I just want to add to that because there's no experts. We've all been here for 3 months. There are no experts, so don't be intimidated by people you think are influencers. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you see someone whose voice you enjoy or you think that their, you know, thoughts and tips are valuable and you have a question, reach out. I mean, I'm always happy to answer questions either on Clubhouse or if somebody wants to DM me. I don't know everything. And I just think it's important that everybody remembers that we're all new and the game changes. Like you were saying that at the beginning, you didn't know to buy your own coin. And then remember at the very beginning, everyone was like, oh my God, buy as many of your own coins as you can. Now this week, the message has been, don't hold too many of your own coins. You can sell all your coins. So, I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. It changes literally every minute. So don't feel like you screwed up or you made a mistake. I mean, you know, talk to people that you respect and get their opinion. But at the end of the day, just see what works. And if it doesn't work and you think you made a mistake, you can admit it. And I think people will respect you for that.
And I want to echo what Yani was saying, like, just stick with it. Like when you think about the best like YouTube creators, they're like OGs. They were there when YouTube started. They're like, I've been on YouTube for 12 years. And like they have like 1 million followers and blah, blah. So it's like, if you do want to be a creator, and I think that needs to be a conscious decision as well. It's not easy. It is a business, right? But if you want to do that, and you find your niche, which is just something that you're passionate about, and it could just be like sharing your day, that level of like authenticity or that type, just like stick with it. It's just go through the ups and downs. You're at this really unique place where you are at the beginning of a social media platform, and it is a really interesting platform. Yeah, I mean, in terms of investments and stuff, like I kind of wish that I hadn't invested a ton of my own money. When I hear other people saying like, I didn't invest anything and like my coin value is like, which is like, I'm like, oh man, like that's a really good point, you know? And so don't invest more than maybe you'd want to lose. And I didn't do that. Like I'm okay with what I invested. Yeah, I just say like, stick with it. I really agree with Yani on that one.
The thing that I would like to ask you to do is to leave in the comments, tag those female creators that you think they are deserving to be noticed, And I will create the post about this video, about this session. So there will be a YouTube video. And in this post, you can leave your comments. Well, then I will collect all the text and I will post additional, and I will make additional posts about it in our group platform to support. It might be just creators, it might be their projects, whatever.
Can I shout a couple out?
Yeah.
I actually onboarded my best friend Gracie Meyer, who I just posted her thing. She's 21-year-old. She just turned 21 in February. She lives here she was born here in Key West. She owns her own real estate photography company, makes 6 figures a year. She just bought herself a 22-foot boat. She's building her own home. And I told her with everything that she does, this platform is absolutely for you, you know? And so I brought her on. She was in Miami. She met a couple people and was able to come in. So I'm really proud of her and everything she's doing. And then Positive Beginnings, I posted hers. And this is Nicole. And Nicole is a former addict who actually found a lot through working with rescue animals here in Monroe County at the jail. And she would volunteer and come in, and she just fell in love with the foxes. So she raised the funds and bought the land and now has 5 foxes. She's got 4 adults that were fur farm rescues. And then she's got a baby, Reef, and she's raising money right now to bring a new baby home named Coral. And so I just absolutely love them. And the last one is my friend Eve. And she is a celebrity, and she's a celebrity makeup artist in New York City, and she just got onboarded. So I'll find her for you too.
Thank you so much for mentioning this. Besides, I've noticed that there was a name Dianchik in chat, so I invited you to watch her lecture on tips how to identify a scam, which is going to be held on June 27 at 10 p.m. EST ADT. So please join her and support her by watching and joining the conversation. It will be cool. So thank you very much, and I will make a post about this session, and you can leave some text in comment as well. I will take some text from here as well, and we will try to support it and try to do our best what is in our power for it. It's so big joy and so huge joy to see so many beautiful women here on the panel. And I've enjoyed it a lot. Thank you very much for coming. And maybe Matreshka will close the session.
Thank you for having us and having us.
Thank you so much. And once again, I want to thank every single one of you for coming in here, for shining your bright light and sharing your authenticity, what you're doing, what you're thinking, what you're creating on the platform. It is so amazing, and I'm looking forward to meeting those of you that I haven't met yet in real life. And thank you so much for all the work you're doing on the platform. As a fellow woman, I know sometimes it can be hard considering everything, you know, but I admire all of you, and thank you so much for participating. And to all of us who are watching, guys, hello, welcome, and we'll see you all on BitClout.
Thank you.
Alex, can you make us? If you don't mind, let's all do that and ask Alex to take a screenshot. Alex, can you do that?
I can't, I think. I'll try. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Done.
Thank you, guys. And I'll see you.
I'll share it with you.
Thanks.
In Discord.
Thank you. Bye.